It's Win at Home Wednesday here on Chasing Greatness. Thanks for joining us today for the show. Pumped up about it. It's going to be a good episode as we talk about some of the emotional baggage we carry at home. So a couple of weeks ago, I had a chance to go to a wedding, and this couple was asking me, a young couple. You know, they know we've been married almost 35 years. We'll be here in a couple months, and they're asking me some questions about it. And one of the things I said was, I think we underestimate how everybody comes into a marriage. Let's say if you're married or in any relationship, we all bring our baggage into those relationships. I bring in my baggage. My wife brings her baggage. It's all different. And then you got to try to mix it together if you're going to live in a family. And the truth is, then you start having kids, and they've all got baggage, mostly because we gave them the baggage. You know, they're borrowing some of ours and some of mom's and some of mine, and put it together, and you got a mess. And it's like, as you think about it, it's so easy for us to underestimate what carrying that for a long time does, and when we don't let that go. So that's what we're going to talk about today here on Chasing Greatness. If you've not subscribed yet, I encourage you to do that. You'll know somebody today who can be encouraged by this conversation. I hope you'll share with them. Continue to hit those downloads. You're helping us grow this thing. We are so excited about that. Leave some comments, and I'd love to hear what you think about your relationships and all those kind of things. So it's yard work season here in the South, and we're doing a little yard. And in fact, the next couple of days, I'm going to review a book by Henry Cloud called Necessary Endings. And then I've got Friday's episode. We're going to talk about some things we need to do to prune some areas of our life. This might actually tie into that conversation when we think about things at home. So just last week, we were using the wheelbarrow here at my wife had the wheelbarrow going, and I'm pushing as well. And, we just load this thing up, and then it's amazing how much you can put in a wheelbarrow and then still be able to push it away and move things from one part of the property to the other, or get rid of some stuff when you're pruning, all those kind of things. Again, just a little teaser there for Friday's episode. I hope you'll listen. But here's the thing about a wheelbarrow. If you're not careful, you will load it. And then next thing you know, it becomes really heavy to carry that. Now, I don't have the wheelbarrow. I couldn't get it here into my porch office. If you're watching on YouTube, you see I'm out on the porch. I love being out here. But here's what I did bring. I brought with me these hand weights. And I don't know if you could even call this a hand weight, this little red one here. It's crazy. It only weighs 1 pound now. When I picked this up, I found this here in actually it was not in the weight room, which I wish it was, because this would be great to, if you could work out with this would be fantastic. I think I could do a lot of stuff with the 1 pounder. It's pretty awesome. But my wife said something to me a couple days ago that I thought was really great when we were talking about just communication and unmet expectations and all these kind of things. You start having these conversations. And my wife said it's like when you don't deal with something every day, if something pops up in your marriage, or maybe something with one of your kids, your son or your daughter, and you just sort of add it to the wheelbarrow, you lay it in the wheelbarrow, and then you just keep pushing it along, and you've not let it go. I think that can be really hard. And then sometimes we have bigger things. Now, it's not a real big thing. This is 3.3 pounds here. And I can handle 3.3 pounds. It's like when it starts getting to 5 or 10, that's when it starts getting to be more challenging for me. But I could hold these the whole podcast. I'm not going to even talk that long, so it'd be pretty easy for me to hold these for 10, 15 minutes here today. And even both of them together, I could hold these. But here's my question: why would I want to? Why would I want to just sit here and hold these when this one's actually starting to get a little heavy? This one's kind of easy. And yet that's what we do in our lives, in our marriages. Let's just take marriage here for an example, and just say, somebody says something, and we lay it in the wheelbarrow, and we take it. We're going to hold it against them later. We're not going to hold it against them right now, because it's not that big a deal. We don't make a big deal out of it. And so, but later we'll pull this one back up. Or maybe they say something big, and we maybe even say something about it, but we just let it stay in the wheelbarrow, and we carry it with us. And the next thing you know, we have just piled up situation after situation, an unkind remark, a lack of awareness, maybe something negative, something critical. Maybe we didn't say something when we should have said something. Maybe we didn't admit it when we were wrong. I mean, if you've been married for a while, it's like all kinds of things could go into this. And when you start piling them up, it really does sort of become heavy. I mean, it's 4.5 pounds. It's not you would go, I mean, some of you probably work out and you're like, that's nothing. But again, I can feel this, and it's just like this nagging thing. And some of us are carrying with us these emotional deals that we've had in these relationships. We just carry it with us day after day after day. And it becomes heavy, and we're just pushing our wheelbarrow through our relationship with just a pile of stuff in there that we've been picking up all along the way. Now, let me say this, and again, I'm older than most of you who listen. I know some of you are really young, and I'll just tell you, when you're together 35 years in a relationship, stuff's going to get, if you're not careful, stuff's going to get put in your wheelbarrow, and it's so important for you to just dump that thing out and just move on. One of the things my wife said just recently, she said, I love the fact that every day we get a new day. I actually put the weights down. They are getting heavy. She said, every day we get a new day. I think that's one of the gifts that God gives us, is like we get to go to sleep, we get to wake up, and we get a new chance over and over and over again. And you may not be a person of faith, but I think you know when things are new, when they're fresh, it's just so much better. And yet what happens is we go through that new day, and then we start collecting, and by the end of the day we have this wheelbarrow full. And if we're not careful and we don't empty that, and in fact, I would encourage you, don't even put anything in it. Just kind of move through relationally with open hands, and with forgiveness and love and humility and service, all those things we talk about here on Chasing Greatness, where it's not just you reaching your potential, but it's helping the other person win in your relationship. I think that's so important. If you want to win at home, that'll really position you to do that in a greater way. So I'm going to give you, before we go here, I want to give you one idea that we have, we've applied this to our relationship. I don't know who told us this or where we heard this early on. That it actually comes from the Bible. There's a verse in the Bible that says, "Do not let the sun go down on your anger." Now that sounds, I'll pick back up my 3.5 one here. Anger sounds pretty heavy, but I would even say don't let the sun go down on your frustration. Don't let it go down on your on your criticism. Don't let it go down on your lack of communication. All those things, if we're not careful, we'll take that and we'll go to sleep, and we'll wake up the next day, and we just keep going day after day. And the next thing you know, we're pushing around this emotional wheelbarrow full of baggage, and it just becomes really heavy in our relationships. And so one of the things we tried to do is we've said this is that we do not want to go to bed angry with each other. We don't want to go to bed even upset with each other, and we sleep in the same bed. So it's like it's really important to if you make this statement, there's going to be times where you may be up a little longer to say, we've got to let this go if we're going to move on and start fresh the next day. And I think, I don't know if I've ever said this to anybody, but I'll say it to you. Is it always struck me like if I don't go to bed angry today, then it's impossible to be angry 2 days in a row. And I'm going to tell you, in 35 years, there have been times where I know my wife has been angry with me, or I know I've been angry, as well. And so it's so easy to neglect what it means to just dump the load every day. And when I say dump the load, it's like you don't have to have a battle every day. And your relationship really shouldn't be a battleground. You really should be focused on moving forward together, not unity. I had somebody told me one time, they said, if you win every argument with your spouse, you're sleeping with a loser. And I think that's, as crazy as that is, I think so many times we get into a dispute maybe, or we get into a conversation even. You get into a situation and you want to change your spouse's mind, or you want to prove your point. You'd rather be right than get it right. It's so easy for us to be self-serving in our relationships. And if we're going to really win at home, again, that's what today's about. If we're going to be great, let's use our Chasing Greatness language. We're going to need to focus on helping other people be great. So this week, in the next couple of days, I want to talk about pruning some areas in our lives. I think one of the areas that we get these weights. We start just piling stuff in our wheelbarrow over and over again. Next thing you know, we're lugging around a load. And I would just encourage you every day to lay that down. Life is so much better when you can lay down your emotional stuff. You can lay down your all the things that you're feeling, you have conversations about that, and you make sure that you're trying to move forward together. And if you can do that, I really think your relationships are going to be better. This works in your marriage. It works in your parenting. I mean, all those areas of your life. And if you don't give attention to that, it's just going to pile up over and over again. It becomes very burdensome, and it makes me really hard to live with. I've got people around me. They'll tell you if we don't have some of these conversations, and we don't communicate in a healthy way, and we don't cheer for each other and encourage each other, and really try to help each other, it's really hard to live with me, and I'm guessing it's hard to live with you if you're not laying that stuff down as well. And so together, you and your spouse, or you and your kids, or you and those close relationships you're in, I think it's so important for us to recognize that stuff's going to pop up. Let's don't let the sun go down on our anger. Don't let the sun go down on our frustration. Let's don't let the sun go down on our unrealistic expectations. All those things. Where is it right now that you need to come clean, to dump the load, and to start fresh tomorrow? I think that will be a really great thing for some of you to hear. You'll know somebody else that needs to be encouraged relationally as well to win at home. We always say if you win at work and you lose at home, you still lose. You want to help the people around you win as well. So I hope you'll share it with them. Continue to help us spread the word. We're chasing greatness here together. We're trying to reach our potential, not just at work, not just at home, but even in life. And we're going to talk about that on Friday. I'm going to give you some things that'll help you with some of the things that you need to lay down. I believe it'll really be some practical stuff there. Hope you'll share with somebody. Continue to comment. If you got questions, love to hear what you're thinking out there. Love you guys. I'll see you on Friday.